Still goofy after all these years. So what do we have here? What are we doing exactly? What we are going to do is we're going to reveal this mono red stompy. Yes, you heard it right. It's a mono red stompy. And this is a special deck that we made specifically to play with our nephew Harrison. And it's not saying that it's not a super powerful tough deck. It's not as much of a butthole deck as some of my other ones. So it's not like the burn. It's not like these other decks that you've seen on my channel. And I wanted a place too I could use these wonderful lands. So we're gonna get right into it. We have this fun goblin token. Look at that guy. What's he doing there? Look at that. He's got some nice rabbits. I'm sure he's doing nice things with those rabbits and doesn't mean them harm in any way, shape, or form. So, anyways, we cleared the board of goofy things. Certainly. All right, Harrison, buddy. So if you watch this video, I'm going to tell you something, pal. You're going to have a leg up. You're going to see what is in the new deck that you're going to be facing this Sunday. And Harrison wants to be on camera, so we may just have him on the program here, as it were. So we're running 3 Monastery Swiftspear because, hey, it's mono red. We need these Swifties, right? So Monastery Swiftspear, if anybody needs to know, haste, prowess, 1/2 for a red. So 1/2 red with that prowess. So turn 1, you cast this, you can cheat something out, like some kind of Phyrexian spell or something, or a Blobble. Look at that. Bang bong. You got a 2/3 turn 1 swinging in. So a little less interesting, but nonetheless, a card I really like is Soulscar Mage. We have 4 of those. And Soulscar Mage is 1 mana, 1/2, does not have haste, but it does have a prowess. So if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, put that many -1/-1 counters on that creature instead. That is very good. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future this card goes up in price. Even though it's not a cheap card necessarily, it's a couple bucks, it's not quarters or pennies. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up north of 5, just because of that right there. Putting those counters on something. Imagine what a lightning bolt could do to a Fury with counters on it. Putting those -1/-1 counters. So Rakdos Scam, that may be troublesome. Especially like in a some kind of prowess build, which I do run. So I do know that can be problematic certain instances. So why is it stompy? Let's talk about our elemental Abiast. So our elemental Abiast is a 1 in a red. It's 1/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Kiln Fiend gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So that's good. We got a few of those in here. Few of instants and sorceries. So we're running 1, 2, 3, 4 Kiln Fiends. And rounding us out, to lead us out, sir, we have the Bone Crusher Giant in this obnoxious artwork. For some reason, I just do not like this artwork. So we're running 3 of these with 1 in the sideboard. We'll go over the sideboard. So 2 in a red, we have Bone Crusher. And whenever Bone Crusher Giant becomes the target of a spell, Bone Crusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. It's a 4/3 for 3 with that ability. That's pretty good. But we have that Stomp too. 1 in a red. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. Like that adventure. So like I said, 3 of these. And 1 in the sideboard with a couple other creatures that are kind of useful. So, Mishra's Bauble, 0 artifact. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So, sacrifice Mishra's Bauble, look at the top card of target player's library, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Very useful for us, simply for those prowess triggers. Not only for card draw, those prowess triggers are going to be really nice. Just like Gut Shot. So we got Phyrexian mana there in the form of Gut Shot to deal 1 damage. That's gonna really do some damage. Or we can pay with 1 red mana as well, if we don't want to give the life. And then of course 2 of those. Rounding that out, we got Lightning Bolt. We have this wonderful version of that. I love these foils in this series. Wizards take a note on that. So Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to any target. Many people don't know this card, and hardly anybody plays it in Modern. Especially when people that play red, it's like, why don't you play Lightning Bolt? I never see it. Wah, wah, wah. Anyways, We got 4 lightning bolts, so pretty good. Not too shabby, right? Why wouldn't you run 4? Am I right? Am I wrong? And here's one of my favorite cards in Magic right here. We have Manamorphose in this wonderful version of this. Add 2 mana and any combination of colors to your mana pool, draw a card. So it's basically a free spell, as it were. Producing that mana, that card draw, very good for us because we can boop, 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 cast a few of these. Those prowess triggers go 1, 2, 3, 4 Manamorphose. We have Desperate Ritual. So for 1 and a red, you can add 3 red. Splice onto Arcane. So to explain what that is, people have trouble with that sometimes. So say I have 2 Desperate Rituals in hand. If I play Desperate Ritual, what I can do is I cast it, I can reveal this card from my hand, and this splice cost is the same as its casting cost, but I can add this card effects to that spell. So I don't have to play it necessarily. As I cast it, I just reveal this and add that splice cost, and you can actually play the card on top of it, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense, right? So that would net essentially 9 mana for 6 mana. So pretty cool. I think I did my math right. 9 mana for 6 mana. So we're running 4 of those. And we have another free instant here. We're running 2 mutagenic growths. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And of course we can pay the life that, or you can pay 1 green mana by way of Manamorphose. But probably not going to be doing that. Now here's a real important card in this deck. We are running 3 Assault Strobes. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. And this card is going to particularly work well with not only our prowess creatures, but the Kiln Fiend here. This is kind of the card that I built the deck around to a degree. I just love the Kiln Fiend. Even though it's going to die to removal, it's not going to do its thing every time, but that instant and sorcery spell, Kiln Fiend gets +3/+0 until end of turn. That's not too shabby. So 3 Assault Strobes to interact with that and get a nice big creature. So say like turn 2. Turn 2 you played Kiln Fiend. Coupled with say like a Monastery Swift Spear. So on turn 3, you have this ready to attack and this. An Assault Strobe there, a couple Mishra's Baubles, maybe one of these, and you have a really big beast there. Not to mention you're getting those prowess triggers over here from Monastery. So that's very cool. Now, this deck's playing kind of low to the ground, not as low to the ground as a lot of stuff we do. So for that reason, we're running Light Up the Stage, and we have 2 of those here. We can get that spectacle cost. That's what we're shooting for. Just exile those top 2 cards of the library until the end of the next turn. We can play those cards. So that's really useful. This is another card. I really love this card. I enjoyed that spectacle for red Rakdos players. I thought that spectacle was pretty dang cool. Get these out of here. All right. Right here. Anyways, so we'll be playing with the nephew. That should be fun. And we have Rift Bolt here. This is a card I actually showed my nephew, and he enjoyed it. He thought that Suspend was pretty fun. Rift Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature, and we're always going to be wanting to pay that for the Suspend cost. We're running just 2 Rift Bolts. Now let's show these cool lands. All right, so we have 18 lands in the main deck. We have these 2 mountains, Invasion Mountains. We have these 2 Odyssey Mountains. These 2 Invasion Mountains. We have these cool Mercadian Mask Mountains right there. And then here's these really cool mountains I got from Connor and Heidi and Francis and Scott for a birthday present. So thank you guys for that. We have these really cool mountains. And I've already showed these on the channel. So we'll just go ahead and we'll kind of shoot through those. There's a secret layer video if anybody wants to see these, where we try to find the goat in all the pictures. So 18 lands in the main deck. And still working on the sideboard a little bit. I think sideboard could use a little help, little work. But In any case, we'll show why we have this goblin token. So what do we have in the sideboard? We have an extra land in case we want to bulk out our creature base a little bit. We have this Invasion of Regantha in the sideboard. It's a siege, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to another target battle or opponent and 1 damage to up to 1 target creature. So that's some good value. And when this is basically creates like a giant monastery swift spear or like a big prowess 4/4. So if a non-creature source you control will deal damage to a creature or battle that or opponent, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So we just have one of these in here. We're running Twinferno. So if anybody's not familiar, 1 and a red, choose one. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. So there's that. We have a mountain goat in here to go with our special secret lair lands. Now he has mountain walk, so this is specific to if we're going against a red player. The goat is fragile. The goat is lucky. I know. I ran out of red sleeves, so I have to get some more. That's why I don't have these sleeves at the moment. So if anybody was wondering. We're running 2 Wild Slash. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage can't be prevented this turn. Wild Slash deals 2 damage to any target. We're running 2 of those. We have Shattering Blow here. Exile target artifact. We have 1, 2 of those. Tormod's Crypt. Tap, sacrifice Tormod's Crypt. 0 mana cost artifact. So that's in line with what we want to do with this deck. We're running 2 of those. And here we have kind of like a Hail Mary, as it were. Is that what they call that in foosball? Okay, I don't know. I don't watch football. Empty the Warrens. 3. And they're talking about Empty the Warrens. This is a laxative that was enjoyed by Ed and Lorraine Warren. So if you want to empty the Warrens, feed them a laxative. I'm just kidding. That's a horrible joke. In any case, Empty the Warrens. 3 and a red. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, and it has Storm. So when you cast this spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. So we can create a big goblin army. Pretty good. We should be able to get like 8 goblins mana provided, and we have a little bit of free stuff to do. So I see that, something just throw in there if you could be fun. Little bit of Storm. Don't let Storm die in the dark, right? Then we have Goblin Chain Whirler. First strike. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So we're running 2 of those 3/3s with first strike for 3 red. And then there's that Bone Crusher Giant and an extra mountain in case we go real stompy. So that's it. That's the deck. Harrison, if you watch this, my friend, it'll give you a leg up in what you're going to be going up against. So thanks for joining me. We'll be goldfishing this because I really want to show you guys the kind of damage output you can get early. Very interesting stuff. So again, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get this boxed up. I really better shuffle this up actually before I take it to go play anywhere because that would be a disaster. I think we'd have some clumps of land. So thanks again for joining me. Give us a hand here. It's not Shapoopsy, or maybe it is. And Cowboys on Plesiosaur, man.